throughout.
Yeah. You ready? You ready?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So I'm grateful to be here with you, Iza and Kat, and welcome everybody to, let's call it an illuminating conversation with two health innovators who are truly shaping the world of holistic wellness. Iza and Kat, I'm really grateful to be in your space. And these phenomenal, I'm not done yet. I wanna continue a bit more because you deserve it. These phenomenal individuals are the co-creators of Statera, a pioneering wellness and well-being enterprise that's challenging the transformative power of detoxification to change lives. And Iza and Kat are passionate believers in the potential of holistic health and holistic health practices, and have dedicated their lives to empower others to really reclaim their health and vibrancy. And they have brought Dr. Joseph Jonas from the Czech Republic and its detoxification and immune system activation method. Is that accurate?
It is.
Yeah. Yes, perfect.
Yeah. To the UK, and they are uniquely merging this traditional medical or medicinal knowledge and approach with cutting-edge biophysical research and the information that's freely available within our body. And their work is transformative, making health accessible, understandable, and really empowering. And Statera is not just their business, it's really a shared vision for a world where everyone has the opportunity to lead and live a vibrant, fulfilling life free from the constraints of health issues. Iza and Kat are breaking down the barriers between people and their optimum health, revolutionizing wellness and well-being in their whole entire landscape. So now as we dive into this conversation and exploration into the power of detoxification, embracing those opportunities to redefine well-being and unlock personal health and well-being, let's jump right in. So to kick this off, could you share with us a little bit about your personal journeys, both as individuals and also as Statera co-creators?
Well, first of all, Frank, thank you so much. Thank you for having us here and for this amazing introduction.
Very touchy, Frank. Yeah, I feel tearful. Thank you.
So our journeys and as individuals, maybe let's start with the fact that we have known each other for over 20 years now. We've met back in 2002, I think it was, Kat, in London.
Yeah.
And I think it was meant to be. It was meant to be that way. We've had our separate careers, obviously lives, always being friends, very, very good friends. And like, I have never heard about Dr. Jonas as such, but at some point, personally, we've been struggling with health problems. With me, it was my son. Very little because he was only 3 months old when he started having problems with chest infections. And that's when I have come across the method and absolutely fell in love with it because it helped him greatly. And then it was this feeling of, like, okay, so I've got a good job and good as in, good money. And it was Monday to Friday. We've had weekends, but it was lacking a purpose. It was just a job and nothing more.
If I can add, Iza, because that is so incredible. I remember that night, Iza came over. I was already engaged in the method in a way that I explored the method whilst helping people with autism. So I could see the light there in terms of detoxification, the post-vaccination injuries, and so on. So I remember I had a few training already, and I was sharing with Iza bits and pieces about the method. And that night, Iza arrived, and it was like a spark of a moment. I said, Iza, let's do something creative together. Let's change the world. And we both got really inspired. Obviously, there was only an idea, a dream. We were both fully engaged with our Monday to Friday employment. But that's how it all started.
Yes, it was just one night, a spark of a moment, and I think the decision was made, Kat. Obviously, it was a process then, absolutely, but the decision was made, and you know that feeling of doing something meaningful, something that can help people, because we have tried the method on ourselves, on our families. We could see how fantastically that can work, but no one knew about it. Like here I'm talking about the UK. Obviously, in Czech Republic, very well known, in Poland also, but here no one has heard about it. And you know, the reason why I fell in love with it is because, yes, it helped my son, but the simplicity of the method, you know, we are talking here big words, we are talking quantum physics and biophysics and, you know, information and informational medicine, but actually it is so very simple to just let the body to work as it has always been designed to work, and that means being healthy. Just remove what is harmful and let the body, let the immune system to do its work, and it really works.
So maybe I will add on, because some people might not know really what is the method about. So is, as Iza said, it's a very simple diagnostic tool, which is that electroacupuncture by Vol machine. So we use those two electrodes to measure the toxic load in our body. So the person who comes for the consultation would keep one electrode, and the other electrode is being used. So we check the pericardium point, which is on the vegetative nerve system. The scanning takes about an hour. I personally take about an hour and a half for the total consultation. And we are able to check entire toxic load in a body. So starting with any metabolites, any inorganic toxins, and nowadays obviously people are loaded with heavy metals, with pesticides, with chemical burden, and things like that. So we drink, we breathe, we eat toxins on the regular basis. And those toxins are creating a base for microbiology. So things like parasites, fungi, bacteria, viruses, we are surrounded with them. We are made of them. And if the immune system operates well, then it's not an issue, because we can easily get rid of majority of toxins. The problem becomes when there is an overload, when the system is so packed up with the toxins, then it's not able to detoxify naturally anymore. Yeah.
Yes, but that's what Dr. Jonas always says, Kat, doesn't he? That the overload is much more harmful than deficiency. You know, because people very often, they are fixed on deficiencies. I've got deficiencies of vitamins and trace elements and minerals. And yes, of course, that can be a problem, but deficiency is not as harmful as the overload, especially if that is a toxic load. And while I've mentioned Dr. Jonas, maybe let's just kind of go back to him, because he's the inventor of the method. So like you, Frank, very well said. The method itself is called detoxification and the immune system activation method. And when we are talking here about removing toxins, whether that is from the liver, from the kidneys, from the brain, doesn't matter, we are actually not physically removing the toxin from the kidneys like herbs, for example, can do, or like some pills can do. What we do is we only give information to the brain that there is a toxin in the liver, there is whatever toxin in somewhere else in the body, and the brain activates the immune system in a way that it is the immune system that will remove that toxin. So the detoxification, which is a very broad kind of term, and everybody usually thinks about, drinking water, fasting, I don't know,
having celery juices,
juices and stuff like that. It's not really this kind of detoxification. What we are doing here is we are detoxifying on a cellular level. So we are removing toxins from organs, tissues, and cells. And I would say the main difference, because that's usually the question, the main difference between the alternative medicine and the conventional, traditional medicine, because this is completely different. It doesn't belong to any of these groups. So with the conventional medicine, we know the treatment is very symptomatic. They are focusing on trying to resolve symptoms or mask symptoms even. Whereas if we believe what Dr. Jonas says, that toxins are at the root cause of majority of health problems, then by identifying toxin and removing it, we are removing the causes of the problem, and not healing, not treating anyone, just literally removing what disturbs the body to function optimally. And the body gets back to its, I always say, its original settings, to homeostasis, to health.
More, if I can add, Iza, but I've observed from my practice that sometimes people would come and say, you know what, I went to the doctors, the results are perfectly fine, but I feel not really great. I feel there is something, but no one really is able to identify. So what we can do, obviously we can identify the toxic load, but also we can operate on that traffic light. I always call it traffic light. In a classical medicine, you are either green, very healthy, or you are red, not healthy at all. There's no space for the orange light. And in our method, we very much look at the orange light. So you are not healthy, but you are not sick yet. There is an indication that you will get unwell at some point. And here, prevention is key, because when we identify the toxin, it's easy to remove it. The body is still strong enough, the immune system operates well, and the healing happens within a couple of weeks, couple of months. It depends what we are talking about. But when the person waits to the red light, obviously the detoxification is much more difficult, because we have to start from the immune system. So like Iza said, we activate immune system. But if the immunity is already very compromised, we need to spend time to rebuild that immunity. And it takes a while.
Yeah.
Yes. So then people say, okay, so it's nothing to do with the traditional medicine, it's nothing to do with this conventional kind of approach to health. Yes, it's completely different. And they say, so it is an alternative medicine. And Dr. Jonas always says, this is not an alternative medicine. This is the medicine of the future. And these are his words, his exact words.
Yeah.
Yes. Because, like I said, our bodies have been designed to be healthy and to stay healthy. And providing we are free from toxins and our immune system is operating well, there is no way we can get health problems. And that literally, that's the simplicity of the method that I was talking about. That is literally what it is.
And if I can add, Iza, again, I'm chipping in with
That's good. That's good.
things.
I love it.
Because it's really important to understand that we as a human being, we are not only flesh. We operate, Dr. Jonas says that we are made of like 3 areas. So we are as spiritual beings, we are emotional beings, and we are matter, the flesh. So in our detoxification method, we also look at the emotional aspect. And obviously spiritual, if people are spiritual, that helps. We all know that we are not just hanging like bulbs on the Christmas tree. We are all interconnected. We are all one. And sometimes making people aware of that is enough. I had numerous clients who were very like intrigued but by what I was explaining, and they were like, oh, it actually makes sense. So some people they are not aware of it, and like our job is also to speak to them, to educate. That's why sometimes an hour and a half is not enough.
Very often that is not enough.
But it's life-changing for many people. It's life-changing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Beautiful.
So maybe just to give everyone an idea, because we keep saying toxins, harmful substances. They are harmful to the body. What is it? What are all these harmful substances? And like Kat said, they are in the soil, in the air, in water, in food, obviously, and so on. So the first thing that we are focusing on would be metabolites. And when we talk metabolites, we don't even mean here like food intolerance or allergy. That's next level. Metabolites, that is something that our body does not metabolize very well. And usually we are focusing here on proteins. So either meat protein, purines, or proteins from the cow's milk, which is mucin, casein, casomorphin. It can be plant protein, and the one that everybody talks about is gluten, but not only gluten, these are all the lectins. And if someone does not metabolize it very well, it can deposit in different parts of the body, causing problems, because every single toxin that will kind of stay in the body and it won't be removed, it disturbs the information, it disturbs the energy flow, it disturbs all the all the processes, biochemical and so on in the body. And that's why it is so important to remove it. So metabolites would be one group.
There is an addition to the metabolites, Iza, and I'm coming across quite often now. People are not aware that we are surrounded with synthetic food and GMO food. So those products are absolutely not being digestive. We don't have enzymes to break down those synthetic materials. And if people are consuming that on the regular basis, that will become a problem. One-off, it all depends on our immunity, digestion. We might be okay with one-off, but if someone regularly buys certain products which are GMO or synthetic, then it will become a problem.
And obviously here we can also include sugar, we can include alcohol. The one that is maybe worth mentioning is beta amyloid. It's a type of metabolite that always deposits in the brain throughout our life. And then at the age when people get to their, 60s, 70s, 80s, it depends, it's very individual for everyone, causes problems with Alzheimer, Parkinson's, dementia, and so on. So this one we always kind of watch for it very, very closely, because it is very important to remove that from the brain, from the central nervous system.
The other group of toxins are the chemicals, and I think we are very much aware of the toxicity of certain chemicals. But we might not be aware of another. So like the most predominant chemical is the heavy metal. which comes from everywhere. So talking about aluminium, fluoride, mercury, very common one. We can take that with food, with water, like especially in big cities, the water is fluorized, and there is an aluminium element in that as well. That's one source. Another source could be from the medication. Now the drugs are loaded with like graphene oxide, for example, is present in majority of medical drugs. Mercury is present in vaccinations, especially the children vaccinations. Mercury, aluminium is present. And parent might ask, oh, you know, I've got 2 children. I vaccinated one. I vaccinated both. One is healthy and one is not. Why is that? It's definitely not from the vaccination, because I've done for both. And again, how was the immune system of the person whilst they were vaccinated? How was your pregnancy? How were the emotional settings for one child and another? So we take into account all aspects, and the conclusion is, yes, one child is loaded and is not well, one child is fine.
Yes, huge problem here are also pesticides, but like residue of antibiotics, the residue of the chemical drugs, which not even the ones that we take because we are unwell, we go to the doctor and we are prescribed antibiotic, but the ones that, you know, the animals are fed with that, and then we eat the meat. They are in water, they are in the soil, and we basically consume. We are not aware we consume that, and that deposits in the body as well. All sorts of the radiation, electromagnetic radiation, which again these days is quite of a problem with the 5G, with all the Wi-Fi's everywhere and Bluetooth, and it you know, our bodies. I think we are in a process of getting used to it, but it along the way it is also causing a lot of harm.
I drop one example, Iza, in terms of antibiotics. I had a girl, 12 years old, just starting the puberty, and she had a massive pain in her breast. So it's unusual. We've done the test, and it appeared that the girl was loaded with antibiotics, and the lymphatic system was blocked. Actually, she had like a lumps here, and she admitted she eats chicken on the regular basis. I mean, at least 5 times a week. So here we are.
Yes, and chicken and pork, these are the most polluted, most acidifying kind of meats that we can have. So yeah, it is a problem. You see, like children come, and I don't know, the child is 4 or 5 year old, and we are finding residue of medical drugs and antibiotics, and the parents are shocked. They said, but he has never been on antibiotics. He has never been on medical drugs. And yet he has got that in the body.
Yeah, another very interesting one is the radioactive materials. People would say, what radioactive elements? How? Where from? Then when we start investigating, it comes up quite regularly that they've just had the X-ray, or they were present when someone else, like child, was having an X-ray and mom was present and mom wasn't protected. And that elements would stay in the body for quite a while. Or when people go to the examination with the contrast, the contrast is the not electromagnetic material, the radioactive material.
Liquid that they will pump inside, yeah.
So it would stay in the system, and it settles down on a cellular level. So the immune system is not actually able to remove it naturally from the body.
Wow.
Yes, and many more. I mean, chemtrails, the 5G I've mentioned already, but all the kind of environmental toxins that get to our body. That's what we are dealing with.
Materials quite often, people who are involved in the type of job where cleaning materials are required, most likely they'll be loaded with chemicals. And the chemicals start from the respiratory system and impairs the cardiovascular system. And sometimes people would go to the doctors and would search for the answers. But it's something so simple like identifying and obviously making change. So identifying the toxin, removing the toxin is one element. Another massive element is making people aware where that toxin comes from and how are you planning to change your lifestyle. And sometimes it's very difficult because if someone is running a business, I've got a person who runs a business, they make furniture, and he is constantly loaded with chemicals because of the paints he's using for the furniture. And he said, this is my business. What can I do? Then I really feel for those people because it's a difficult ask.
Yeah. I remember actually also removing the labels of my clothes, right? Yes. Like cutting the labels out. All my t-shirts, all my, like everything I wear on my skin has the labels cut out, right?
Yes.
And because that these are loaded with toxins as well. And these are things we don't even think about.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the information. Because we are working on the informational field. So everything we are surrounded with holds an information. And it's very interesting. I read this research about the Disney characters and how the Disney characters imprinted on the clothing, children clothing, can impair on their behavior. Yeah. So like my advice for the parents is buy plain cotton clothing for the children.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with the labels. You've mentioned the labels, Frank, and why the labels are harmful, two ways. The first way, the kind of physical way, because of the materials they are made of. Usually that is like a recycled plastic, which is the worst quality plastic, or sometimes the ink that is used to imprint the name or the logo or whatever. So that is one thing. But the second thing is the symbolic kind of way, and very often logos, they that's what Kat says, carries some information, and we are not aware of that, but it has got impact. And and our on the subconscious level, we read these signs. We
connect.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this. Like this has already been, I feel like you have answered a lot of questions that I kind of telepathically mapped into the conversation.
See, we are one, Frank, so we don't have to ask questions, we are answering them already.
Yes. It was really, really beautiful, and you were you are in complete flow. What I want to circle back to is, because for the skeptics or those who are new to, let's say, alternative health practices, how would you encourage them to explore the detoxification and immune system activation method? Like, what would you share with those people? Because there might be somebody watching and say, this is all bullshit, right?
Well, yes. Firstly, I think everybody should try for themselves, because I believe everyone can, make their own choice. If someone wants to be stuck in their own ways, stuck with the traditional medicine because it is helping them or not, but they still do that. For me, that is absolutely fine. But I think a lot of people are coming because obviously the perspective of people is changing these days. The COVID time was very revolutionary, I think, and it opened a lot of eyes. So people know they are looking for alternative solutions, alternative to the traditional medicine, because they can see what is happening. Some other people are looking for the alternative solution, maybe not because they can see or believe, but because they have no choice. Because after years and years of treatment, that, for example, their liver has been treated for whatever problem. Now their kidneys is failing because of the drugs that they have been given, so a bit of a vicious circle, and they don't they don't have hope. They are looking for hope. So I think everybody needs to make their own decision and try for themselves, and that is the best way to see what the method can do for your health.
For me, Frank, Einstein used to say that the insanity is to do the same things and expect different results.
Yes.
So I think all of us, we are there to explore the world and to live our life to the full potential. So if you are a person who is not well and who explore on the medication, on the doctors, and you are still feeling not well, then it's time to come out and think for yourself. How can I make changes? How can I apply different things to get better? And our method is one of those alternatives. There's a range of different methods on the market, and it's for you to explore. For myself, this method is incredible because, first of all, is non-invasive. The examination is straightforward. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't demand any blood sample or urine sample and so on. It can be done for children from the age of few months because we can test on the hair sample as well. So it's very easy. And we apply informational medicine. It does not create any side effects. It can be applied alongside a medical treatment. So if someone is or let's say on the heart with the heart condition and it takes medication for the heart condition, I would not definitely advise to stop with the medication. But I would say, let's detoxify, let's remove the toxin. And after some time, you might not need that medication anymore. So our dream is to work with the doctors who can actually review the medication in an intelligent way, not only to sell the drug because this is the way.
Yeah, that's powerful. Thank you for shining light on this. And I think this will help people also see what's happening and really become aware. Another thing also that I want to touch on, because you're really like not just practicing this yourself, you're like the main Marion distributor in the UK. And how would you say Statera, you too, contribute to bringing this impactful method from Dr. Jonas to a broader audience even?
I think that was our ultimate aim, to create something, a platform where we can meet with like-minded people. And it started very naturally, spontaneously. People were actually coming to us and saying, oh, I love the thing you do. I would love to do it for myself, for my children. And that's how it all started. We spoke to Dr. Jonas and we said it would be wonderful if we could enable other people to practice the method. Then now we are, we've got nearly 40 therapists, and our aim is to spread the word even wider, to enable more people to practice, to also merge the method with the other things they do. So like our therapies, they are physiotherapies, they are homeopaths, they are natural therapies, dietitians. So yeah, the method can be an addition to what they do because it gives a unique diagnostic results, which you want. I haven't come across another tool which would give that accurate reading, the results reading.
Yes, so maybe just to add to it, Kat, at the moment we run our Statera Academy, where we train people to become the detoxification therapists. Obviously, that is in collaboration with Dr. Jonas. When they finish the course and they successfully pass the exam, it's not us, it's not Statera that certifies them. It is Dr. Jonas himself who gives the certificate. And basically, we work with people who are professionals, like Kat said, professionals maybe in other areas, but they want to add on to what they can offer to their clients. But also people who don't have medical backgrounds or any medical knowledge, but they are passionate about natural lifestyle in general, natural health therapies. And also they want to help people. Someone who is looking for their, they are looking for their mission in life. They are looking to, yes, I've got the same. They are looking to change something, to do more meaningful, like me and Kat back then, So we would like to invite everyone. At the moment we are running like 2 courses per year. One starts around January time, the second one end of September time. And not only that, we thought, just to talk freely with no censorship, so we can actually say how it is. We have also started the Heartbeat platform. That's our quantum well-being platform where people can sign up, they can join us at any time just to speak. Some people just want to speak, they want to share their experiences, they want to find out more. We've got our therapists there, everybody is very friendly and very helpful, so if anyone has got any questions, any problems, I think that is the best kind of platform to go to.
And it's completely free.
And it is completely free, yes.
Yeah.
Because the mainstream kind of Facebook, Instagram, although we are trying to do something there and reach to some individuals, that is not our thing, really. Me and Kat, we don't. No.
I must say, Frank, thank to you. We are where we are at the moment, because if not you, we would be probably sitting and still writing on the pieces of paper. That's my style very much. I've still got my diary, I book appointments, but Frank is really, really supportive in terms of going with the age of technology and spreading the word wider. So as Iza said, Facebook, Instagram and other platforms, yes, we are still using it because a lot of people access those platforms, but we can only freely speak when we meet in person, and now the Heartbeat hopefully will also allow that.
Frank is showing us a different way, more creative way. And yes, thank you so much for that, Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for me, it's really, I feel blessed to co-create this with you, because I can see the impact that this has, and also the meaning behind this, right? This is coming from really pure intentions, and when you come from pure intentions, automatically it expands, right? It's coming from love, not from fear, where it's contracting the body. And this is probably what people can feel while going through this interview that you conducted by yourself just now. It was so beautiful to watch unfold, right? But it just shows how passionate you are, and really you're fully living this, right? It's like you're the real deal. And yeah, that's what I would love to encourage, to check everybody out. The immune system activation method with you guys and Dr. Jonas. And we have something really exciting coming up in June, which we also want to quickly touch on.
Yes, it's like a cherry on the cake, I think, especially for me and for Kat, because You know, Frank, we have been numerous times in Czech Republic, in Prague. We are going there to meet with Dr. Jonas, to attend conferences, attend workshops, to, find out new things. And it was always us going there. And Dr. Jonas few times went to Poland. And we felt a little bit jealous. And we kept asking him, Dr. Jonas, please, can you come to the UK? And he wasn't that keen, I think, maybe because of the language as well. That's not very close. Yes, and so on. And we were just absolutely over the moon when last year, it was October, when we were in Prague, Dr. Jonas approached us himself and he said, you know what, I think I'm ready to come to the UK. So he is coming.
Yes.
Yes, we are very excited to be able to have that opportunity to organize this international informational medicine summit with Dr. Jonas in June. So that is Saturday, the 15th of June in Posk, Hammersmith in London. All day with Dr. Jonas from 10 to 4 p.m., where people can meet him in person. They can even have a little chat with him. I'm sure he will make himself available, where he can. He will be talking, obviously, about the method, about the world of information, which is always very interesting. He always has got something up his sleeve that he surprises us with. So yes, huge event for us, and we would like to invite everyone.
And let me just add a word, because I think it's worth mentioning that Dr. Jonas might not be well known to many of you. Probably you've never heard about him. He is one of those scientists or those incredible people who acts a lot behind the scene. He is very humble himself. And the fact that he worked with information 50 years ago means a lot to us. You see, nowadays, many people talks about the quantum healing, about the information flow and things like that. He understood that principles way before we knew about it. And now he is on a different path, on a different level. So meeting him in person and hearing certain things from him is just a gift. And I believe for that fact is worth coming and seeing him. Bear in mind that he is not very, very young. He is very active and very hands-on. But we don't know whether he would be able to come again. So we are taking the time as a gift from him.
Yes, it will be definitely a quantum experience. One that I think everybody will remember for a very long time.
Yeah, I feel this as well. And it will be translated to Polish and English.
That's right, yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for being available here today, for bringing Dr. Jonas to the UK. I really am grateful to witness that growth also that you bring to the table. And I'm sure people will massively benefit from being part of this journey, because they will understand much better what's going on with them, and maybe even have like a life-changing moment when they listen and say, oh, this is why I'm feeling this way. Oh my God, this is why I have this thing going on, right? And because I mean, when Iza and I were talking, as I have become a client as well, that's what I experienced. I had those light bulb moments, like, oh, and it just kept going. So yeah, thank you so much for being the trailblazers for this really simplistic way of taking care of our own health and empowering so many people. What an acknowledgement to already look back at 40 people who have gone through the training and are practicing this method and spreading this word. Like, that's amazing. Yeah. So thank you so much.
That's our mission. Thank you. Thank you, Frank, for having us and for your ongoing support. It means a lot.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah. How you feel? That was epic.
Was it? I feel
Yeah.
I feel it was really good.
It was
You were
really
very good, Kat.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I feel it just came naturally. So
Yeah. It just flowed. It just absolutely flowed.
I absolutely love that way of spreading the messages. I feel
You see, in this way, you don't think about like what you just like boom give without having any second thoughts. Or can I say this? Or do I want to say this differently? Or you just flow, and it's amazing. Yeah, I love it.
Imagine, Iza, we are sitting here and the camera is in front of us.
Never. Oh my God.
I would never said that.
Yeah.
So
Well, you
Frank,
don't know.
thank you so much. No, this is you, Frank. Even if not you,
You bring the energy. Yes, definitely. Frank.
cabbages on the chairs and
it's
try to say something.
And it's so much
That's great.
different when you just talk to someone. You are just natural.
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm standing in front of the camera and I'm just talking to the camera, no, everything goes really, really wrong.
Yeah.